The unique thing that we're trying to do with Furqaan Academy is to shape those values of kids with an Islamic identity.
It allows the child to learn the Quran as well as Hadith and Islamic sciences side by side with their state curriculum. And that makes sense to me.
At FA, we teach Arabic as a full subject throughout math, science, language art, social studies. Throughout the day, they are not only sitting and learning and memorizing the words, but they are implementing it on their daily basis. And that's what we are trying to emphasize in the classical Arabic.
You cannot pick up an ayah in the Quran and just solely rely on the English translation to understand what your Lord is communicating with you. What Allah wants you to say is best captured when you understand the language that He is speaking in.
That there was a need for an education program for the children so that they can not only read the Quran but understand the Quran. There's a lot of people that don't understand the Quran. We have to start at the ground up. The best time to learn language, for instance, like an Arabic language, a language you're not grown into, it has to be at childhood. You know, just like you pick up vocabulary in whatever culture you're in, whatever language you're in. Same way, if we start teaching Arabic as a language at that stage, you start building your vocabulary from a very early on stage, and then getting to conversational Arabic and stuff becomes easier. We've got over 200 plus, almost 300 full-time Islamic schools in this country. Ask yourselves how many of those schools are producing a graduate at 12th grade that can understand the Quran or speaks the language. There's a big problem here that is not being addressed because the level and the depth at which we're going is very surface level. And in order to understand Quranic Arabic and the beauty of the Quran, you've got to learn the language, in a much deeper way and be able to understand it, speak it, write it. Then you'll get to the point of being able to appreciate the beauty of the Quran. Furqaan Academy was started so that from the very ground up, we build a culture of understanding, appreciating, learning the Quran. It's not sufficient for us just to teach our children, you got to pray 5 times a day, you got to do this, you got to do this. You got to teach them, in a very organic almost way. You've got to teach our children how they can react to the situations around us today. The environment of post 9/11 is very different from what it was before. Now you've got everybody asking all kinds of questions on Islam, enough that it will shake the faith of a lot of Muslims themselves because they don't have the answers to some basic questions. So we're dealing with a very different environment where we have to rethink whether our education system is going deep enough to empower our next generation of children to be able to handle themselves in the kind of environment we're in today. Look at the generation today. This is the M generation. Look at the type of children we have today. Their attention span. At 1 minute they're dealing with, chatting away with somebody. Next minute they're texting somebody. Then, they're also watching something. They're studying something. Multitasking is like the norm today. The children we're dealing with are able to deal with a lot more than a slow-paced education system. So I think we don't give them enough credit that in the amount of time that we have allocated in the school system, our children are going to be able to do better in a much more fast-paced, much more focused education program. At the end of the day, we do not want our children to be handicapped in any way in being able to survive in the West. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We feel that we need them to be better equipped to survive in this thing, maintaining their identity as Muslims. And alhamdulillah, I believe that our children, with the memorization of the Quran, will become smarter, and in fact we will be academically, inshallah, over time more advanced than other systems.
My name
is Rusama Rayyan. I attend Furqaan Academy. I want to be a Hafiz and a math professor, inshallah.
My name is Ikra Ahmed. I attend Furqaan Academy. I want to be a Hafiza. I want to be a language art teacher, inshallah.
My name is Umair Ali. I attend Furqaan Academy. I want to be a Hafiz and I want to be a scientist, inshallah.
My name is Bahuddin and I attend Furqaan Academy. I want to become a Hafiz and I want to become a neurologist, inshallah.
So here's a student in 12th grade that comes out of our academy. They are going to be fluent in Arabic. They can read any Arabic literature, newspapers, etc., books and stuff in Arabic language. They're very comfortable with the language. Number two, they have a far, far deeper understanding of issues like fiqh, aqidah, Islamic history, and so on and so forth. But the curriculum that we're going to adopt is going to deal more with what you would find in, earlier years of an alim program.
نور يهدي القلوب يا الله عبد كثر الذنوب زادت حولي كروبي منك إليك هروبي يا الله لا تحرمني نعيما لا تتركني ساقما يا منان